You have been a hardworking woman all your life. You have been on top of things. You always find a way. You've been great at listening to instructions and following them. You've led, you've been a CFO, a CEO, a COO, you've been a manager, you have taken care of your family, you have taken care of your partner, you've made sure that everything is as perfect as it possibly can be. You have found a way to keep things under control. And then now you're slowly finding that anxiety is coming in. You are finding the confusion, the inner conflict. You're finding that discomfort in your body that you don't recall being present. And then as you think about it a little bit more, then you think, okay, maybe this was starting to come from somewhere. My name is Caitlin Taylor. I'm a personal trainer, yoga instructor, golf swing coach, and a wellness coach. I am here to provide you with support. I'm here to provide you with information. I'm here to help you know that you have someone on your side and that you are not alone. I am also here to let you know that you are good enough. In this moment, in the moments where you have lots of clarity, in the moments where you have lots of confusion, you are good enough at every stage of the game. The only thing, in just a simplistic way, that has been holding you back, shame. Shame. Fear of not being perfect enough, being shamed somewhere down your line. Maybe you were resting when you were little and your mom told you, no, 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 get up, let's get to work, let's be productive. You've got chores to do, you've got school to do, you've got extracurricular activities to do. I want you to learn a language. I want you to be more active. Don't sit down. Sitting down is lazy. If you're not productive, you're not helping society. And if you're not helping society, then what's the point of you being here? Get your butt up. Did you hear something like that? Maybe it was underlying tones. Maybe it was you could never sleep in. Maybe it was if you wore clothes that were comfier and maybe not as preppy or not as sophisticated as everyone else around you, or what your parents or your teachers told you was professional or good enough or classy enough. Did anyone ever ask you what you wanted? What you wanted at your purest form? Did anyone ask you what colors you liked, what you might want to wear, what might feel more comfortable? Maybe you don't want to wear the itchy top. Maybe you don't want to wear the pants that are too tight. Maybe you don't want to wear the thing that they tell you you should in order to be good enough, but you do it because you want to be good enough, and that's the goal. To be seen as good enough through everyone else's eyes. This is so important to me because I've lived it. I understand it. I'm understanding it more and more. I'm understanding myself more and more. And I just want to help you so deeply. Because I work with clients every day. I meet people every day who I can tell they're just being pushed down by shame and pressure to be something that they're not. But since they are so unaware that they are not, and they're just been so aware of what everyone else wants them to be, they pick that cup instead. And I know what it feels like to pick that cup and to not even know there's another cup that's actually for you. And so I'm here to share and to tell you and to help spread the word that comfort over swag is better. That you feeling whole and healthy and grounded is more important than you being productive and doing all of the things and aiming for perfection when that's not even a real effing thing. You're aiming for something that's not even real, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault you were told what to do and that you followed it. It's not your fault that the people that were telling you what to do were basing all their information off the foundation of fear rather than the foundation of love. That they also are and were lacking love for themselves, which also decreases our capacity to have love for others, because when someone tells you their perception of what you should be doing and what's better, it's really just based on their own perception of themselves and their fear. I'll give you an example. I had a friend once. We're not close anymore. And she seemed very progressive, very women empowerment, right? So I thought. And then when someone was coming up in the ranks and this woman showed power, showed confidence, showed the intellect, the knowledge, everything she needed to show up for the job, my friend at the time, said this woman could not show up for the job. We cannot support her because a woman can't do that job. A woman cannot hold steady like a man. A woman has period fluctuations, she has hormones, she has emotions, all of the things of just showing how a woman is lesser than a man. Now, this friend of mine, she's so strong. She works out constantly. She does so many different jobs because she has that power. She has that tenacity. And I was empowered by her until I heard her thoughts on this other woman. And then it made sense. She had these thoughts about this other woman because she actually pushes herself to go so far and find as close to perfection as she possibly can, or she thinks she can, in all these areas of life where people will give her the accolades and the awards and the acknowledgement for how great she is. But then she has these periods, and they happen multiple times throughout the year, where then she crashes. She crashes and she burns, and she's like, what do I do? She's so inflamed. She can't get out of bed. She gets really sick multiple times a year out of burnout. And that burnout is happening because of the goal of perfectionism, the goal of being seen, and also because of her capacity, limited capacity to see her power, to see that she can be strong and soft at once. And that's where the real power is, not just holding on to one end and being the all or nothing. And in order to know what the strong and the softness is, it takes testing it out. It takes practice, because life is about practice, not performing. Even when you think you're going to perform for people, you're never actually performing. You're supposed to be practicing to get better and better, practicing to understand yourself more, to know why you do the things you do, to know what you really want, to know what you're passionate about, to know where to lead, where to go, where to follow. And so I just want to remind you, you do not have to take on anyone else's limited vision of you, because their limited vision of you is really their limited vision of themselves. And that is not your responsibility or your duty to change or fix. The only responsibility and duty you have is to be the best protector, caregiver, and lover to yourself, and coach. And so that's what I do. Through my coaching, I help you become the best protector, caregiver, lover, and coach to yourself. Because our greatest issue in this world, with all of the terrible things that are happening around us, all of those people that are making those terrible decisions and choices were affected somewhere down their line in the past, so deeply, so gravely, that they are making these choices and they think it's okay. And that doesn't mean it's not wrong. It just means that we can think a little bit more clearly to understand the way the world actually works, not the way the world around you wants you to perceive how things work. Because when you have that limited vision of yourself and lacking knowledge, and when you're ignorant of issues or information, that allows people that are a little bit more aware to have more power over you. And so I want you to take your power back. And you can't do that if you don't know yourself, if you don't take the time to invest in yourself. And I had a client that I'm working with who she's trying to understand, okay, I have worked my whole life. I'm in my 70s. I've taken care of my family. I've been a CFO, a COO. I haven't flinched in the face of my greatest challenges. And now that I'm retired, I am terrified to go out the house. I'm shaking. I'm having a hard time breathing. I'm tight. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. What do I do? And so I'm helping her with her daily habits. And we had a conversation, and she asked, are there other people like me that have experienced something like this? Is this out of the blue? And I say no. Whether I've worked with people that are poor, middle class, rich, wealthy, they're all struggling with something. And it's all internal. And we can't overcome those struggles or flow with them and rise up through them if we don't know ourselves, if we're not willing to take the time to be with ourselves. And she asked, what does it matter if I take time to be with myself? I should just go and do all these things. And what we're working on is showing that in order to do those things, in order to take care of the world and to take care of your business and family, your nervous system needs to feel safe. Your nervous system needs to feel loved and like it's being paid attention to. Everyone has their own timeline of if they're pushing too far for too long, there's going to be that snap, that quick change, seemingly quick change, where all of a sudden they thought they were fine and then they're on the other end and there's panic. But I want you to check in with yourself, because maybe this wasn't out of the blue. Maybe this started somewhere. So I highly recommend therapy. I highly recommend having a coach, a wellness coach, a guide, because you don't have to do it alone, and you shouldn't. Because one of the best things is for us to have our own guides and have someone that can tell us their own perspective on the outside, who we can trust and that we can show and be, and to delve into, question and be curious about what's on the inside of us. So some things we're working on with her that are foundational are breathing into her belly, doing mobility every single day, because as soon as you get out of your bed, you need to counteract and combat all of those weird sleeping habits and weird things that we did while we were sleeping, while we were sitting, while we were driving, whatever happened the day before, and open up our body and even just release some of that tension and stress of the mind through opening up our body. We're adding in daily walks. We're doing brain dumps. I highly recommend you try and test out just one of those. And if you want a coach, reach out to me. You can go to weighteight.com. You can fill out our contact us guide, and then I'll reach out to you directly. And we can just do a chat virtually or in person if you're nearby. And we can just do a complimentary consultation where we start to talk about what's going on with you. And you don't have to know anything. You don't have to have any answers. I'm here to read between the lines. And I'm here to help you cross over and to be a guide for you, so you don't feel like you're alone through these steps. Because life is not meant to be lived alone. You may be born and you may die alone, but in between, you deserve to have community and support. I'm cheering you on. You are good enough. I challenge you to test out one of those exercises. Maybe it's mobility stretches. I have some on my YouTube channel. If you go to my channel and you just follow some of those short exercises like open book, cat-cow, figure four stretch, to work on your hips, to work on opening your spine. You deserve to be loved. Start communicating with your mind and your body. I can't wait to chat with you soon. The best is yet to come. See you soon. Cheers.